Cheapest plumber in town? Is that what you want to be? Being the cheapest plumber in town may not be what you want to be. I'm going to explain to you how you could be the cheapest plumber in town and what benefits it'll be, but if you'll hang around to the end, I'm going to tell you why you don't want to be the cheapest plumber in town. Now, if you're a plumber and you want to be the cheapest plumber, or if you're a homeowner and you want to hire the cheapest plumber, that's not always good. The reason being, if you are the cheapest plumber, well, there's problems there. If you're a homeowner and you hire the cheapest plumber, trust me, they're making shortcuts that could cause you problems at your house. Now, if you're new here, or even if you're not, if you've been here before, but you haven't done it yet, please hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss out on anything. And if you know a homeowner that is thinking about hiring a plumber and maybe the cheapest plumber, you may want to share this video with them. So remember, hang around to the end because I'm going to tell you why being the cheapest plumber may be a great thing for you. But number one, if you're the cheapest plumber, you're gonna be busy. Your phone's gonna be ringing off the hook. You're gonna have calls to do all the time. Nothing wrong with that. You're gonna get up in the morning, you're gonna have so many calls going that, well, you're gonna be working all day. And you're gonna be working all day every day. So if you've set your pricing up for you to be the cheapest plumber, well, that's gonna be beneficial to you in some ways. And if it's just you, well, hopefully you don't have any overhead. I mean, think about it. You shouldn't have an office. You shouldn't have staff. You shouldn't have extra phone lines and security systems and building insurance and a lot of things like that. So being the cheapest plumber in town could be a good way to start out for you. If all you're trying to do is make your phone ring and make you stay busy, well, that could be very beneficial for you. But how are you going to find out if you're the cheapest plumber in town? Are you calling other plumbing companies around to find out how much they charge and what they're doing? That's what a lot of plumbers used to do. Just call the other plumbing companies and find out what is their hourly rate. Well, most of us have gone to straightforward pricing, flat rate pricing, upfront pricing, whatever you want to call it. We've gone to these systems, and what that has done, well, we don't really have an hourly rate now. At least we don't tell people we do. We know what we base our pricing on, but it's kind of hard to be the cheapest plumber in town if you don't know what the other guys are charging. But go ahead and try. Number two, if you want to be the cheapest plumber in town, how do you know the current cheapest plumber in town isn't slowly going broke? And trust me, if he's already the cheapest plumber in town, chances are he is. But the good thing about it is, well, now you can go broke together. Being the cheapest plumber in town means you're not making much profit. And we know that because those of us that aren't the cheapest in town, we know what it takes to make money for our business, and we've put those things in place. So anyway, that was just a little side note. The second real reason you may want to be the cheapest plumber in town is now you're going to get to work all the overtime you want to. People are going to want you not just during the 8 hours that you work during the day, but they're going to want you to work the other 16 hours overnight. The reason being, you're the cheapest plumber in town. And if you can make your schedule fit their schedule, well, if you can be over at my house about 8 o'clock tonight, that's about when my kids go to bed, so you could go ahead and fix the plumbing, be done by 10, but oh wait, you're the cheapest plumber in town, so I really don't want to pay any extra. So the good thing is, your wife, your girlfriend, your children, your dog, your fish, you know, they're not going to be seeing much of you. So again, this may be a really good thing for you being the cheapest plumber in town. Well, if those are the things you want to give up in your life, because it's a good possibility. Now, another good thing is you're going to be able to save money. Well, a little bit. You're the cheapest plumber in town, so you're really not making a lot, but the good thing is what money you are making, you don't have time to spend it because these people are also going to want you to work Saturdays and Sundays. Not just the 8 hours during the day. Remember the 16 hours overnight where, well, most of us plumbers are at home enjoying time with our families or sleeping or whatever it is we do. Being the cheapest plumber in town may not be a good thing for everyone. Because remember this now, if you're working all these hours as a plumber, you're not doing the other things. You know, the estimating, well, maybe you're doing some of that. The billing, accounts receivable, accounts payable, paying the supply house, paying to make your phone ring, marketing, advertising, what are you doing? Because as the cheapest plumber in town, you're gonna be doing everything because you're not gonna be able to afford anybody else. And I know that because that's how I started out. Luckily, I was able to get help really quick, but even then it was a little too late. I was losing customers because either I couldn't get there, I was working too much, not that I was the cheapest, but I wasn't the most expensive or I wasn't charging enough anyway. And think about this, if you're the cheapest plumber in town and you know other companies go out of business, don't you think that you're gonna go out of business too? Well, that takes me to the big ending. See, being the cheapest plumber in town may be great for you. Here's why. you're gonna lose money faster, you're gonna go out of business faster, and the good thing is, then you're gonna be able to get a job. Why is that a good thing? Well, now you're just gonna work 8 hours a day. You're not gonna take all the headache home. You're not gonna take the worrying home. You're not gonna go home each and every night not able to sleep because you don't know how to make the phone ring, or you don't know how you're gonna pay your bills, or you don't know how you're gonna get those new tools that you need to do something else. So how should you really go about setting your pricing? Well, number one, you've got to figure out what it costs you to do business. What's it cost you for your tools? What's it cost you for your materials? What does it cost you for your vehicle, for your taxes, for overhead? You're eventually one day, you're gonna wanna shop. You're gonna want a cool place to say, hey, this is where I work. This is where we load the trucks. This is where we get together. This is where we meet. Because one day you're gonna wanna hire people. And here's the thing, if you're the cheapest plumber in town, who wants to come to work for you? I mean, you can always tell them, look, I'm gonna pay you less than anybody else, and I'm gonna ask you to do more work because we're the cheapest, we're busy. Man, this is not the kind of company somebody wants to go to work for. Figure out what it costs you. What would it cost you to hire a good plumber? What would it cost you to hire 10 of those? And figure out what it would cost you to pay them for an hour. What would it cost you for a building, for good materials, for the right tools? Nobody wants to work for a cheap company. We want to work for the best company. If you're starting your own company, instead of thinking about how do I become the cheapest, think about how do I become the very best. So to recap it, if you're the cheapest, you're gonna be busy. If you're the cheapest, you're gonna work all the overtime that you want. If you're the cheapest, you're not gonna see your family, your girlfriend, your children, your dogs, your fish, cats if you're one of them guys. I'm just saying. And here's the deal, nobody's gonna wanna come to work for you. Because you're the cheapest, you're not gonna be able to afford them. I recommend be the best plumber in town. If you're the best, even if you don't work as much, if you're charging what the best plumber charges because you're doing that top work, you're gonna make more money in the long run. You're gonna get to spend more time at home. You're gonna be able to hire people that wanna come to work for you, and you're gonna be able to take vacations and do things that you wanna do. Being the cheapest plumber in town is not the best way to do it. If all you want in the beginning is to make your phone ring, it'll make your phone ring, but you're gonna regret it later. Because once you try to raise your prices to where you can do the things that you need to do, your customers are gonna complain. Now you're gonna be fighting to get new customers. That's how we start out in the beginning when we're trying to do it the best. If you're the cheapest plumbing company in your town, do me a favor, leave me a message below and let me know, how do you make it work? How do you remain to be the cheapest plumber in town, and how do you make good money doing it? Now, don't get me wrong, you could probably do it if you're doing massive volume, but you've got to find out how to get there. If you hire the cheapest plumber in town, do me a favor, leave me a comment down below and let me know why and how did that turn out for you. If you are the cheapest plumber in town, just let me know, how are you doing every year? Are you making money, or are you going out of business? I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, the expert plumber. I'll see you in the next video if you don't get flushed.